So I know the pieces fit. The question is where. We need to figure that out. Alright. Okay. Where were we? I know we finished 22 of these, I think, so far. Which means we still got a lot to go. So... the discontinuation of Satoko Hojo, the section Kiryosuke. Okay. You're on YouTube! Go you, Styles! Well, I think we can do this one right off the bat. I think the big thing we came across last time we were together is, of course, we found out that Satoko probably shoved her parents off the cliff. So, that's probably bad. That's probably something... Oof. That was rough. So, I'm clicking this one. And I did it again. I have joy to keyword. Oh, no! It can't be... No! I cracked it. Oh, no. Look what I've done! Look what I've done to this poor fragment! I've done a terrible thing! You saw nothing. Wait a minute. I think I loaded the wrong file. Yeah, I loaded the wrong file. That's why! Okay, that's what was wrong. I had loaded the wrong file. I thought that first page looked a little empty. What the fuck am I doing? Okay. Professional game streamer. You fucking better believe it! So, deja vu. Completion of the medicine is no. We ain't got no medicine. We ain't got no dang medicine. Results from the research. We ain't got that. Mysterious death of the Furude couple. Ain't got that. A bat beat her to death is. We ain't got that. A roll of a one. A bottle of wine for a toast. Jiro Tomitake's promise. A draft of an emergency manual. Depression of a Shinto. Rika and Satoko's shopping trip. The Shinto priest continuing. Okay, we can do this one. You can do Depression of a Shinto Priest. Look at this. I know how to play the video game now. I know how these fragment things work. The gathering place inside the Furude Shrine is in fact the headquarters of the Onagafuchi Guardians. Normally a shrine would be a calm and quiet place, but there are anti-dam signs everywhere, making it very obvious that what this location has become. Snagging them fragments. They're like Doritos. You just want to keep reaching in the bag and grabbing more of them. There are over 30 members of the Guardians here at the moment, and they are having a heated conversation about their plans for the future. Although this meeting place is on the Furude family's property, it's a community facility, so it closes at 9 p.m. Of course, sometimes a discussion gets so heated that it goes past closing time, but meetings are supposed to end by 9. If a discussion ends early, they usually chit-chat until that time. That's what usually happens. Of course, they mostly talk about the dam, even when they chit-chat. They talk about someone's mistreatment of the government office, or someone getting arrested unjustly, or complain about people on the dam construction site are too violent. Since it's idle chatter, the topics are slightly emotional, and because of that, there was a good deal of bad-mouthing the Hojos. Whoa, Raven! Welcome. Fragment get... Yeah, I could probably do that. I ain't got a webcam though, so you can't see it, so it wouldn't do me much good.
ありゃすごかったよ。な、あそこまで言うからにゃ、もう村にはおれんよ。さっさと出てけばいいのにさ。金がもらえないのどうのこうの。浅ましいったらありゃしないね。いや、理性のなさで言ったら、あそこの奥さんも相当なもんだよ。
それでやっぱり遺伝なのかしらね。あそこのお嬢さん、買い物によく見かけるんで挨拶するんだけど、向こうから挨拶は絶対に返さないのよ。だから私たちバカバカしくなっちゃって、以来見かけても知らないふりしてんだから。
それ言ったらあそこの坊主もいっつも暗そうな顔してるよな。
By now, the Hojo family has become the enemy of the whole village. Bad-mouthing the Hojo family was the greatest shared topic that anyone could easily contribute to. If he had known how powerful the three families were, especially the Sonozaki family, and if he had known Oryo-san's character, he wouldn't have said the things he did. The Hojo couple are residents here. They thought that though they were never really very enthusiastic about the council activities, they should have known the kind of person Oryo-san is. He could only have imagined just what would have happened to him if he talked to her that way. Yet, he let his anger take over and voiced his unpleasant feelings, so most people think the Hojo family brought their isolation upon themselves. If they wanted to negotiate with the government regarding the move, they should have done so privately. Yet he was foolish enough to express himself at a public gathering like that. So too many people sympathized with the Hojo family. So not too many people sympathized with the Hojo family. Ever since the big fight at the explanatory meeting, the Sonozaki family has looked at the Hojo family as their enemy and started to go after them. That caused the other pro-dam families to go quiet, fearing they'd be made into scapegoats too, and those who wanted to leave were bitterly forced to give up. Yeah, it feels real good, and like seeing the origins of all this and knowing that, like, yeah, we're gonna fucking smash that shit with a ball bat. Even those people started criticizing the Hojo couple, saying they could have gotten their compensation to leave if the two hadn't picked a reckless fight. Both the anti-dam and pro-dam people hate the Hojos now, and the family has become even more isolated. Moreover, the Hojos are both very aggressive. They should have stayed quiet at least until things settled down, but they didn't. That alienated a handful of people who took pity on them as well, so now nobody even says anything to them. All of that was immediately obvious by listening to the foul talk here at the gathering place. Rika always helps out by putting the teacups away, so I'm sure she hears what they say as well. One of the Hojo family members they're bad-mouthing is Rika's friend Satoko-chan. It hurts to think about what Rika feels while hearing that. As priest of the Furude Shrine, should I let this continue? Oyashiro-sama is a god who makes peace between enemies. When the humans and demons fought, Oyashiro-sama descended from heaven and mediated between both sides. As the caretaker of this shrine, I must do something before it goes too far. I'm sitting next to Oryo-san, who is spitefully disparaging the Hojo family. We are probably at peak mean granniness, I think. The elderly people cheer her on as they listen to her speak. If I barge in now, I have a feeling it won't be peaceful conversation, but I have to make up my mind. As the priest of the Furude Shrine, also for the sake of Rika's friend Satoko-san.
北条さんの悪口を言うのはそろそろこれくらいにしませんかね。
ああ、なんで何倍よりおるんかいな。
いや、北条さんもそんな悪気はなかったと思うんだが、あまりいつまでも尾を引くのはかわいそうだと。
しゃらしいね。おめえあれを聞いちゃどんなすったらんわんとね。なあ、おしゃらしい。ああ、しゃらしいしゃらしい。
Oryo-san is the head of the Sonozaki family, the heir to the demons. She never forgives anyone who stands against her, so there's no way she would even listen to what I'm trying to say. Oryo-san and the others become furious and refuse to listen to me. I also mentioned that the dam construction plan will be cancelled soon, so they should calm down already. I said that because the staff at the EDA clinic told me that the government is putting some kind of pressure on the Ministry of Construction, but thinking that I'm being the opportunist, soon criticism of me began to circulate the room. After that, I realized I've become branded as a fence setter. If the demons are willing to listen, then there's a chance to make peace. But how can I make peace with people who refuse to listen? I destroyed their mood, so I just have to give up and shut my mouth. Then I felt a little hand on my back.
Rikaか。もう遅い時間だから家に戻っていなさい。
私たちがいくら努力しても届かない。
Rika looked into the distance while she spoke.
このよどみ切った村の悪兵は、そのよどみに住まう私たちにはどうしようもないのかもしれない。でも、希望をなくすものか。今にきっと。こいつらを打ち破ってくれる人がやってくる。
Yeah, I control Nightbot. Nightbot is mine. Like that message is set to go off every 15 minutes or so if there's more than 2 messages in chat.
今にきっと。
Her eyes shone as if seeing a future that only the maiden of the Furude shrine could see. Okay, that one is down. Stay hydrated bot. I don't see a stay hydrated bot anymore. I think he's gone. I think stay hydrated bot took a hike. Satoshi Hojo's part-time job. Awareness of his sins. The Ryugu family. Satoshi Hojo's awareness of his sins. The mysterious death of the Furude couple. I think there's one about mistrusting the mom. Red capsule. Yeah. Results of Research 103 and H107 are required. The truth about the Shirakawa Park incident is required. Oh, and she's got a fever. Rika has developed a high fever, a very high fever. It's not flu season, nor a season of any type of contagious diseases. I could only think of the suspicious experiments Rika has gone through. Maybe the fever is being caused by those. Her growth is rather slow compared to the other children her age. Receiving mysterious shots and going through experiments every week, I'm sure her body is exhausted. I've asked the staff to go easy on her, but Rika herself is fearless and willing to go through anything. My husband, who should be admonishing her for that, truly believes their story that it's crucial to the lives of over 2,000 villagers and takes our own daughter to that clinic every week. I'm the only one who's sincerely worried about her health. That's why I want to ask Dr. Irie to be a little more considerate towards Rika. Anyway, I have to talk to them about taking responsibility for this. Right after I called, a staff member came to pick Rika up to admit her to the clinic. As her guardian, I came with them.
落ち着いてください、お母さん。必ず救いますから。もうしばらくお待ちになってください。
Why do you seem very excited about this, Irie?
これが落ち着けるかというんです。急にこんな高熱が出るなんておかしいじゃないですか。これも先週にやったというなんとかという怪しげな実験の影響じゃないんですか。リカはね、年相応の小さな女の子なんですよ。リカは友達思いだから病気にかかった友達のためにと。
分かっております。それに私たちの研究が間違ってもリカさんに悪い影響を及ぼすようなことはありえませんし、万一にもそのようなことが起こらないよう常に注意をしています。
だったらこのリカの熱は一体どういうことなんですか。
おそらくは 季節の変わり目ですので。
風邪のわけないでしょ。あなたたちが妙な薬を注射したからに決まっています。
Dr. Irie only told me to calm down and refuse to accept responsibility. My husband told me that this is all for the sake of the village, and that's why I've held back my doubts until now. But I'm at my limit. Their existence has been suspicious from the beginning. They're conducting their research in secret, using a privacy policy as an excuse. That was shady enough on its own. It's just impossible. In fact, I called the Ministry of Health and was told that wasn't true at all. Even after I told them I'm Rika Furude's mother, the clinic even came up with the stupid excuses saying normal workers often don't know of a special institute like theirs. That doesn't make sense at all. It's much, much too suspicious. Also, there are people who don't appear to be researchers working at the institute. They look like security guards, but they seem so different from normal guards at a normal hospital. In fact, one time I accidentally saw that they were armed with guns. They got guns, they strapped, they loaded.
それはですね。
あの人たちは警察なんですか？とてもそうには見えません。だいたいあなた方は何者なんですか？厚生省の人間だなんて私は今更信じませんよ。
Dr. Irie seems taken aback by my intensity and can't even answer properly. They're all hiding a lot more from us. That tells me the research they're working on with Rika isn't anything proper.
とにかく私はリカの保護者です。リカはまだまだ子供です。あの子が何をどう返事しようとも今後は一切研究を手伝わせるつもりはありません。
あらあら、リカちゃんのお母さんではありませんの。
Oh, good! Takano versus mom. Oh, man. Oh, man. Getting feelings here. Oh, no.
あら、どうかなさいまして？
いえ、お母さんがリカさんをこれ以上研究に関わらせたくないとおっしゃってまして。
それはどうしてですか？
うちの子はあなたたちの実験動物ではないからです。
そう扱ったことなどございませんわよ。それは大きな誤解ですわ。
You can tell when Takano's getting pissed because suddenly the range and fluctuation of the intonation of each syllable starts to get a little more varied and wild. It's just kind of an observation. You know when she's about to go into Takano mode. Kaze.ogg. I'm a little startled. Dr. Irie is a weak person who backs down under pressure. Takano-san is different. I'm yelling at her, but she's not afraid at all. On the contrary, she's glaring daggers and looks as if she's about to jump on me.
リカちゃんの熱は風によるものですわ。私たちのせいだなんてとんでもない。
Well, when you know you can literally fuck everybody up, why would you need a poker face? This is a woman who doesn't want or need a poker face. She's very much throwing it out there that, yeah, I'm the badass that will fuck you up if you fuck with me.
私たちは安全や衛生には国立研究所クラスの注意を払ってます。失礼ですが、アルコール消毒もしない手でリカちゃんの手を引いて歩いているあなたより衛生的なくらいですわ。
Wow, look at her go! Look at this woman go!
そんなことは聞いていません。とにかくリカはあなたたちのおもちゃじゃないんです。リカはもう二度とここへは連れてきません。
あなたの既存で決められては困りますわね。
Oh, guys, I think she's a little mad.
ご協力をいただくことについてご両親には契約書にサインをしてもらっているはずではございませんの。研究に協力していただく見返りに決して少なくない額を毎月お口座に振り込ませていただいているはずですわ。
Can we go back to Dopey Eyes? I like Dopey Eyes a little better.
そんなお金私は知りません。
Her husband didn't tell her about the money?
聞いたこともないです。
Rika's receiving money for participating in their research really is news to me. Knowing my husband's character, he wouldn't have used it as spending money behind my back. I bet he thought of it as a free service to the villagers and completely forgot about the money being deposited into our account. There haven't been any strange deposits in the regular account, so it may be in our savings. Anyway, I don't care about that.
契約を保護にされる場合にはそれまでの振込額をすべて返還していただくことになっているのはご存知ですわね。他にも一方的な保護についてそちらに非がある場合、
高野さん、落ち着いてください。お母さんもどうか。ひなみざわ将校軍は以前にもご説明させていただきましたように、これからも村人たちが安心して生活していくために絶対に治療していかなくてはならないものなのです。そのためにはどうしてもリカさんのご協力が必要なのです。
治療のためって、じゃあその治療薬はいつになったら出来上がるんですか？だいたいおかしいじゃないですか。リカの友達のさとこちゃんのためということでしたけど、そのさとこちゃんはもう退院して元気に生活しているというじゃありませんか。確か先々週にうちの人が話を聞いた時にも、もう治療のめどは立ったというようなお話をされていたはずですわよね。
Yo, Ding, welcome. Hope you're doing well.
目処はついたというような話はしたと思います。ですが、ひなみざわ将校軍の全貌を解明するためには。
全貌の解明なんか最初の話で聞いていません。リカが協力するのは村人の病気を治療するためのはずです。ならもう十分ではありませんの。皆さんがリカに怪しげな研究やら検査やらをしているのはあなた方の興味本位であって、治療とは何の関係もないんじゃありませんの？
Yeah, that's why we call him Ding. Because D1NG.
そんなことはありません。とにかくリカさんの風邪の件は誤解なんです。
D1ing.
もしどうしてもご不審ということでしたら。
とにかくお金の話もあるみたいなので、私も帰って夫と相談しますから。それでは失礼します。
They were just too shady from the very start. Because of their exaggerated story, Rika and my husband took their side, but he won't work on me. Anyhow, I need to settle things with them right away. Because Rika isn't their toy. I especially don't trust that woman called Takano. Dr. Irie seems to me like he's still a doctor, but she doesn't. How can I describe her? I guess I could say the glow in her eyes is just unpleasant. She only sees Rika as a guinea pig. I can feel cruelty emanating from her. Neither my husband nor Rika have noticed that. I must protect her. As a mother, I must protect Rika.
高野さんらしくもない。あそこで喧嘩を買ってしまったら余計に話がこじれてしまうではありませんか。あなたらしくもないですよ。
そうですわね。ごめんなさい、取り乱してしまって。
Did something happen to put her in a bad mood? Irie wondered. The heated conversation she just had didn't involve the Takano he knew. Okay. That one's out of the way. Takano just likes getting reactions out of people. A declaration of war from Corrado Oishi. And Rika's father being marked as an opportunist. Rika's mother's suspicion is required. The third sacrifice? Sounds about right. Yeah. The situation has changed. Rika's father suddenly changed his mind about having her help out with the research. When Rika came down with a high fever the other day, her mother, who wasn't happy about her daughter helping in the first place, finally blew up. I was hoping the father would convince her somehow. But now he seems to be on her side. Rika's father didn't get emotional like her mother, but he demanded that we make our research plans for Rika clear. And that we finish our research within 3 months at most, which was completely unrealistic. Research can't have a deadline. That's out of the question. We cultivate results by grinding down our knowledge, skills, and time. To take time away from us like that is taking away what's vital to live. How could he say such a thing? Curses, 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 curses. You're shitposting. What are you doing? What are you shitposting? Fragment. Okay, that's great. That's fantastic. I'm gonna save that and pull that up. Hold on. I'm gonna pull that up next fragment break. Okay, I'll pull that up during the next fragment break. How could he say such a thing? Curses, 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 curses! Rika's parents are only saying this because they don't know anything about scientific research. However, as they are the parents of the Queen Carrier, we are completely lost about what to do. Tests and experiments in the Queen Carrier are an essential part of our research into Hina Mizawa syndrome. Her existence is the focal point of our work. To lose her would be like losing our sense of direction out in the open water. Rika is providing her cooperation with our research, but the withdrawal of her guardian's consent could be a setback. The situation is extremely dire. Rika's parents are only interested in finding a cure, but to me, the cure is only a small part in solving the mystery. I can't let her go. Are our differences causing this predicament? And it's not only them. The same is happening between Irie and me. He thinks it's inevitable that we'd need to stop the research if Rika's parents refuse to consent. That's understandable. From the beginning, Irie never had the determination to solve the mysteries of Hina Mizawa syndrome. He won't back down from the research assertively, but he will passively by agreeing with Rika's parents. Is that the attitude of a researcher who's trying to unravel mysteries? He's the type of man who would step on my grandfather's research with his dirty feet. He is nothing but a coward who is in this half-heartedly. He started to feel guilty over his past the moment he saw blood. He isn't qualified to be involved in researching Hina Mizawa syndrome. He is simply an outsider who joined in because of the client's demands. If I were a man, he wouldn't be here in the first place. While it's true he produced wonderful results with his developments of a cure, he seems to think that it's all right to close up shop with that. Is he planning to waste everything by being satisfied with just that tiny result? That man doesn't have any right to discard my grandfather's research. I can feel my guts boiling. No. Irie isn't the main person at fault. The one to blame here is the woman, Rika's mother. If she wasn't so selfish, this wouldn't have happened. Maybe it's partly my fault. I maintain trust through relationships and obligations all the time, but somehow Rika's mother and I don't get along, so I didn't try to socialize with her. I thought it was fine because I got along with Rika and her father, but now the mother has influenced the father and changed his decision. What negligence. What a reversal. What a blunder. Irie is saying we should talk to the office in Tokyo about what to do next, but I know once the Tokyo office finds out about this, they'll order us to shut the research down. I've worked so hard to even get things started. If they hear anything negative, they'll put a stop to it. I've come too far to complete my grandfather's research. I can't let it be stopped. I still have a little time to think about this. I need to calm down and analyze this carefully. I always come up with a great plan when I drink my favorite tea and bite my nails like this. I looked up at the ceiling and closed my eyes as tenderly as possible. There were times where I couldn't find a solution, but someone else came up with a simple one. I've been able to overcome everything that's been thrown at me. I've even endured the hell of that orphanage, so I will never let that woman get in the way. Settle your thoughts down. Think about this clearly. Be calm, Mio Takano. Someone else may come up with a better idea, but who? It's not me. It can't be Irie. Of course, nobody from the village will do. Do I talk to someone in Tokyo? No, I can't. I don't want to owe anyone a favor. Even Koizumi Sensei would be disgusted if he finds out that I can't solve such a simple matter by myself. I know. There's someone I can talk to nearby. They're supposed to be my subordinates after all, so it's worth a try. I called the leader of the mountain dogs Okanogi. The mountain dogs are my subordinates, but they're part of the self-defense force, and I'm just a researcher, so we never really had a chance to interact. He did what he was supposed to, and I did what I was supposed to, so I never even thought of discussing anything with him. But the mountain dogs are there to protect and support our research. Why didn't I think of talking to him before?
Sora, nangina cot desu na.
Who's up for some crimes? He used to speak standard Japanese, but now he has a Hina Mizawa accent. I guess fitting into the region is the first thing they need to do.
このままだと女王感染者の協力が受けられなくなるばかりか、騒ぎ立てる母親によって研究所の所在が暴かれる危険性もある。山犬で何か手は打てる？
I asked Okanogi rather discreetly. I don't think is he winking in the other ones? I don't think he is. Hello? I can't change the graphics now for some reason.
了解しました。
That's weird. Okay, there. Okay. Okay, he doesn't have a winky face in the other ones, I guess. There you go. There's your man right there. There's your boy! Sad to think that he doesn't have a winky face.
山犬で対応します。お時間をいただければきれいにやりますよ。
対応？
警察沙汰にならんようにしますんで、少々の準備は必要ですが、難しい仕事じゃありませんね。
I'm startled. Rika's mother is my enemy, but I was thinking about how I could convince her. But the leader of the Mountain Dogs, the counterintelligence unit whose duty it is to protect the secret research, came up with a much simpler plan.
それは殺すということ。
入江機関の機密保持にあたって
Nice.
最悪の場合、それも持参中話のはずですが、もちろんご命令があって初めて実行することですが。
Right. This is a very simple problem to him. Rika's mother has started to interfere with our research. Not only that, there's a chance she might talk to people about the Institute. So, they will eliminate her.
それは確かにうまい手ね。うまくやれるの？
そのために来ている我々です。
Lady, I'm so good at murder. You just watch. I'm gonna show you how good at murder I am.
大臣の孫の誘拐以来、久々の大仕事になります。
And there you go. There's your final answer on that. Oh, I remember now. The Mountain Dogs are the ones who kidnapped the grandson of the Minister of Construction and used that to blackmail him. It has been a few years and I completely forgot about that, so they did such a marvelous job then. That's right, that's right, that's right. I have the Mountain Dogs on my
実行は
side.
すぐにでも可能？
ただ殺すだけなら今夜にでも。ただ、それでは騒ぎが大きくなりますんで、周到に監視してからきれいに蒸発してもらうようお膳立てします。そのための時間さえもらえれば。
Just like a cat's eye under a bright light, I can feel something in the back of my eyes open up. Up until now, I'd been racking my brain trying to figure out how I could make her my ally, or at least make her surrender or pacify her. Yet one order to this man and the problem's easily solved. I feel like a bird taking its first flight. How easily I can get rid of that annoying mother. All I have to do is give an order. I feel grateful to Koizumi Sensei for giving me such a terrific subordinates. What a wonderful power he has given me. I was taught that all people are equal, but if I have the power to control people's lives, then that must mean I'm more important than they are. What a feeling it is to be above
消すの
others.
はフルでリカの母親だけでいいですね。
え？あ、いや、ちょっと待って。
Talking over here, drinking this murder wine, getting real drunk on it real fast. Does he mean only Rika Furuta's mother? I can feel chills all over my body. If possible, maybe I should have her father disappear too. Rika is willing to help. She has no other relatives in the Furude family. If both parents die, she has to depend on someone. The EDA Institute can support her. We can give her status, money, and protection. We can give her everything. By doing so, maybe it's possible to make her one of us, rather than just having her as a helper. All my worries are melting away. Everything I was just concerned about seems like a joke now. I had such powerful subordinates all the time, yet I never realized. All of my tension is being released, and I'm starting to feel relaxed. I can feel myself regaining my cool head. I'm going to get rid of them. Rika's parents, that is. The Queen Carrier is my guinea pig. A guinea pig doesn't need parents. That's right. It's almost time for the Watanagashi Festival. If they die on that day, people will call it the Curse of Oyashiro-sama. The murder case from 2 years ago and the accident from last year are two separate incidents. Yet, because they happen on the day of Watanagashi, they're being called the Curse of Oyashiro-sama. Then, if her parents' deaths occur in this year's Watanagashi, it'll be Oyashiro-sama's curse 3 years in a row. The miracle of Oyashiro-sama, also the curse. I'm going to create them. This is a chance for me to ascend to godhood and toy with human fate. The incidents that occurred 2 years in a row are said to be a curse, but not everyone believes that. However, if it happens 3 years in a row, then everyone has to believe, because that'll be a true curse that's created by me. I'll become Oyashiro-sama. My desire for revenge against God is coming together.
ただ消すだけではなんだか面白みがないと思わない？
When I started the lab, Okanoki grinned to show his
私
interest.
たちの手でお社様のたたりを作ってみるの。
I can't just let her die. She'll be demoned away, and I'm going to enjoy dissecting her alive. Of course, I won't just have fun. This will be extremely useful for our research. After all, she's the previous Queen Carrier. Oh boy. Well then. Oh boy. Woo! Woo! That's some rough shit there. All right, hold on. We got to take a art break. Hold on. There we go. Fragment get, bitches! Get that shit! Alright, you take it easy, Styles. Catch you next time. Thanks for stopping by. We are collecting fragments. Woohoo! Oh, so good. Oh, thank you, Sayara, as always. All right, so that was the third sacrifice. So, the third year's curse of Oyashiro-sama is required. The death of Satoko Hojo's aunt is required. An execution order, a declaration of war. I don't think he's made his declaration yet, has he? Or yeah, he might have. So I think mysterious death of the Furude couple. Zero to Matake's slight fever. Oh, there. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4. We can do that one too. So. Bottle of wine, Jiro Tomatake's promise, an emergency manual. Okay, those are just getting into the 4th year stuff there. That's 4th year. So, now we're starting to actually make some good headway here. So, 3rd year's curse is required, but I don't think it's happened yet. I think we need that one, but I'm gonna just save and make sure. Alright, see what happens. Alright, Deep down, I was prepared for something to happen tonight once again. The first year, the workers were stirred into a frenzy, killing and dismembering the old man. The second year, the Hojo couple were killed through a fake accident. Since the damn protests, only people who have been hated by the villagers died on the day of Watanagashi. Some people in the village were calling the incidents the curse of Oishiro-sama. Now that the damn protests are over, there would be no meaning in the villagers' enemies being killed on the night of the festival, I thought. If that was true, then there was still some enemies left over. I thought that perhaps it would happen again on the night of the festival 3 years in a row. My hunch was right. At first, however, it looked so natural that I didn't think anything of it. The festival was nearing its end, and the village officials were gathered under the main tent. They opened their beers and enjoyed the leftover corn and braised cow tripe from the refreshment stands. Boy, that sounds like a good refreshment. Braised cow tripe. Y'all want some nice, refreshing braised cow tripe? Don't look up what tripe is if you don't know what it is. It's pretty gross. I was in the main tent too, being entertained by the villagers, so I was actually there at the scene of the third year's incident when it happened. Yes, I think they do. Yet I didn't notice anything at the beginning. Most of the older folks in the village were heavy drinkers, but a few were lightweights too. The priest was one of the latter. The priest was a representative as well as a host during the Watanagashi festival, so every time visitors and guests arrived, he greeted them, and each time he was offered a drink. So by the night's end, he was pretty worn out. That's why I didn't think anything of it to see the priest sitting by himself in a folding chair. The mayor, Kimiyoshi, was the one to tap his shoulder and ask if he was alright. When I saw what was going on, I noticed he was covered in a terrible sweat and was definitely not relaxing in his chair and enjoying the cool evening breeze. His face had a sickly pallor, and I thought that he should lie down immediately. Yep, sounds like he swallowed that tripe. Perfect timing, Takano's here! So the priest and his wife headed to the clinic with Dr. Irie. I don't know about young people, but the elderly know their own bodies well. They almost never push themselves to the point where they start feeling ill. Especially someone like the priest. It was hard to imagine him drinking himself sick. The cumulative experience of my years was telling me something. I headed to the Irie clinic just in case. I tried to follow their car because the festival was almost over and all the stands were closing up, there was a lot of traffic going in and out, making it impossible for me to leave the temporary parking lot. More than 20 minutes had passed since the priest was carried in by the time I arrived at the clinic. 20 minutes. If it hadn't taken me 20 minutes, my involvement in this year's incident would have been quite different. I regretted not leaving on foot the moment I realized how hard it was to get my car out. All I get to do now is jot down the facts, because between the time the priest left the festival and the time I arrived at the clinic, during those 20 minutes, this year's curse had taken place. The priest's condition worsened. The priest's condition changed for the worse right after he arrived at the clinic. He died. The autopsy results say it was heart failure, but how can I accept that? I don't think that the priest was having health problems, and everyone was taken by surprise by this sudden fact. Moreover, the wife of the priest disappeared too. According to the clinic staff, she was with him right after he died, but she's nowhere to be seen now. Of course, she's not at home either. Maybe someone poisoned the priest. During the dam conflict, the priest was frowned upon for his remarks. He said that there was no need to make a big fuss because the dam project would be cancelled anyway. The older villagers liked to hold grudges and hadn't forgotten that, so even I had heard word from them talking about how the priest wasn't fit for the shrine of Oyashiro-sama. I called for backup and had them go search for the missing wife. With last year's falling couple incident as precedent, it was easy to believe both wife and husband could become victims. The village's youth group got organized and searched the village to the mountains, and as a result, here you go, Sayara. Post that shit! We found a set of sandals and a will by the edge of the Otogafuchi swamp. The will said something about how her husband's death was the curse of Oyashiro-sama, and that she was throwing herself into the swamp to calm the god's anger. In other words, she committed suicide by jumping into the swamp. Legends say that the swamp is bottomless, and it's connected directly to hell. Once you sink, you'll never come back. Divers from the police department searched the swamp, but her body was nowhere to be found. The past two mysterious incidents were solved individually, just as the higher-ups say, but something is odd about this year's mysterious death. The ill priest was carried to the clinic. His wife accompanied him. Within 20 minutes, the priest died of heart failure, and the wife either committed suicide or disappeared. The death of the priest may really have been a fatal heart attack, but for his wife to assume that it was a curse and to commit suicide by jumping into the swamp, for all of that to happen in 20 minutes just doesn't seem natural. The Furude family has no relatives. Even if she was a true believer in Oyashiro-sama, how could she commit suicide while leaving behind her one and only daughter? Irie is hiding something too, but he's just a village doctor, which means he's nothing more than their pawn. If this is all a conspiracy to assassinate the priest, then there's someone who's pulling the strings. How do you read those things sometimes? I had been starting to think that trying to tie the past two incidents to the village so forcefully was a bit overbearing of me, but this incident was enough to convince me that this series of cases involving mysterious deaths in Hina Mizawa were all grounded in one intention. This incident has countless numbers of discrepancies, but someone from the village seems to be putting pressure on high command. And just like the priest incidents, this one will be treated as an individual case and end up being forgotten. Since it happened 3 years in a row, everyone in the village will say it's the curse of Oyashiro-sama. I think that's the culprit's goal. After the war, belief in Oyashiro-sama became antiquated. Is someone committing these murders as a ritual to restore that god's dignity? The one pulling the strings must be the Sonozaki family. A few months passed. Orio Sonozaki said something like, it was natural for that priest to be cursed by Oyashiro-sama, and so the priest's curse was lumped together with the mysterious Hina Mizawa deaths, otherwise known as Oyashiro-sama's curse. At first, I simply wanted to avenge the old man, but now the case had grown into an abnormal one, centered on the village's faith. Damn it, the old man's killer is human. I won't let it be pushed off onto some nonsense curse. Wowie. It's all coming together. Mysterious deaths of the Furude family. Death of Satoshi's aunt. Okay, so now the third year's curse of Oyashiro-sama is required. Oh, I think we can do that. A red capsule. Yo, Fino, how's it going? Hope you're doing well. Been a while. Haven't seen you. Glad you're doing okay, or hope you're doing okay, at the very least. The strange medicine that I can hardly remember was a capsule, or maybe it was an oval tablet. It was so red, it must have been a capsule. I can't imagine a tablet in that color. It must have been a capsule. I think it was a little bigger than a normal one. I think. I can't remember. Although I can hardly remember, if I see that medicine again, it'll refresh my memory. Uh-oh, I think we did a perspective shift. I think we're somebody else now. Doing alright at work? I almost kind of envy you in a way, being able to be at work. I wish I had things. I wish I had more things to keep my mind off the next 48 to 72 hours. That's because I don't work today or tomorrow. I'm just like going insane, trying to stay away from all the That medicine strips away humanity. It takes away a human soul, memory, emotion, and it numbs the human body. There are no thoughts, no interests, no will to stay awake or asleep. There's no sense of time. Sometimes a second can feel like an eternity, and other times I almost see the hour hand move. Either way, there's no emotion involved. I can't feel any emotion. The medicine only lets me stay in bed and look up at the ceiling. The only people who have taken it understand this misery. What's more scary is that while I'm on the medication, I don't realize how scary it is. I'm given the medication daily and I keep losing all my senses. So when the medicine wore off by accident, I realized I should never take it again. That's right. This is a medicine that will heal me. It's going to kill me slowly. If I continued to take this medicine, I probably wouldn't be able to tell if I was dead or alive, and I would end up losing myself forever. Oh, God. Oh, God. I'm hearing, I know some people that are working polling places, and apparently, like, they're getting, like, police escorts and shit. Like, it's sounding really bad. A friend of mine I know is going to be working a polling station, and she actually has to be police escorted tomorrow. It's ridiculous. I'll keep looking up at the ceiling without any emotions and keep watching the clock tick forever. If I take the medicine again, I'll lose all senses I've finally regained. I may never be able to bring myself back again. Since the day I realized that, I've been pretending to take the medicine, but throwing it away instead. If your doctor prescribes medication, you have to finish taking it, even if your symptoms are gone. I can hear my mother's voice. Anytime I went to the doctor's office when I was a child, my mother said that to me. I usually got well before I finished all the medicine, so I didn't finish taking the rest. That's why my mother said that. But this is a different type of medicine. I don't even remember how old I was when my mother said that, but this was a strange capsule in front of me. I had to try and get rid of my mother's voice from inside my head. I pressed down on my head with my elbows until it hurt, trying to get rid of what my mother kept telling me. Right. As my head clears, I start to remember the ugly side of my mother. My mother betrayed her family. She betrayed me and my father, who waited for her at home with dinner on the table. She told us she was busy with work, but she was having an affair. That was bad enough, but she asked my father for a divorce after he took such good care of her for so many years. But there's something else I can't forgive her for. She invited only me to meet her new family, not my father, just me. My father and I are family. Family means being together, yet my mother tried to destroy the bond between my father and me. Not only had she destroyed her bond with him, she tried to destroy my bond with him too. When I remember, it makes me feel angry and hateful, and I can't forgive her. The back of my eyes started to hurt, and I could feel the hatred on my face. That overflowing animosity is aimed not only at my mother, but also at the man she had an affair with. The man she had an affair with, Uncle Akihito. I didn't like him teasing me, but he gave me an allowance and tried to have fun with me. I liked him very much, but his niceness was all calculated. He wanted to destroy the family bonds between my mother, my father, and me. Half of the first hour for voting and work as a custodian. I'm not even allowed. Wow. Man, that's... Jeez. There's... Man, and it's just like, it's not just tomorrow, you know? Like, that's kind of what's maddening about all this. It's like, yeah, tomorrow is a big moment, but like, it's still gonna be bad for a long fucking time. The bathrooms are atrocious, I imagine. That's why I shouldn't have said I liked him very much. That's right, I'm starting to remember and understand. Now I know my true enemy. It was his fault that my mother started to have an affair, because my mother was a very good mother. He was the one who made her a bad one, so he's the one who deserves the blame. when was the first time I met him? I think it was a time when my mother and I went out and had lunch at a restaurant. She introduced him as one of her colleagues from work. At that time, if I think about that first meeting, I think I felt something wasn't right with the way my mother acted around him. That's right, I did. I did think something was wrong. It didn't feel right. I wish I'd trusted my instincts then. I was a fool to think that he was a nice person just because he gave me a strawberry from his piece of cake. It was not my father's fault, because I bet he never met Uncle Akihito, but I have. I met him many times, and there were a lot of chances to realize he was my enemy. If I had a strong enough will to protect my happiness, I could have noticed that. Oh yeah, voting's been going on here for a while too. It's just, like, a lot of places are on high alert because there's suspected militia activity and shit that's gonna go down tomorrow. People are already trying to block buildings and shit. Like, it's going to be fucking ugly. Thankfully, a lot of people, like, have gone out and did their due diligence and voted early, but I still feel real bad for anyone that wasn't able to or chose not to. I can't forget how my father looked on that day. My father, who was so nice and gentle, grabbed his knees tightly and cried so hard. He asked me if I knew Uncle Akihito. I answered yes. Then he slapped me in the face. When he slapped me, I finally realized how stupid I was for being taken in by him. That's right, it was my fault. I destroyed the happiness that I had hoped to last forever with my own hands. If I hadn't been that stupid, my father wouldn't have had to cry like that, and my mother would have stayed good. If I wasn't that stupid, it was my fault. I can't forgive my mother and Uncle Akihito, even when I hate him this much, I still call him uncle, and I can't forgive myself for that. It was my fault. Everything was my fault. I was too stupid and foolish, and that's why this happened. I hate her. I'm sad. I'm frustrated. I can't stop being angry. If my mother ever came back to this house, I would rip her apart with my hands. But she never came back. My anger toward everything that my mother left in the house. I destroyed every relic my mother left behind, one after another. I threw and smashed everything, but that still didn't calm me down. Even after I turned the whole house upside down, I still couldn't calm my anger. Where does my anger gather? It starts from inside me. It goes through my arms, through my fingertips, and spurts through my nails. Where else can it go? So my nails aim at my own body. My body is the filthiest and most disgusting thing of all. I am the one to be blamed. No. I'm not to blame. My mother's most at fault. My mother's the most corrupt. My body and soul feel filthy. I wanted to stain myself black and slice the remaining flesh into pieces. And one day, I finally realized. There were tons of maggots in my blood. I am rotten. I am rotten from the inside. Come on, rot more. But it is indescribably itchy. It is itchy, 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 itchy. I stabbed my thigh with the razor blade in the bathroom. Content warning, self-harm, if that's a thing, you're more than welcome to leave. Apologies. Drive-through voting. Oh, yeah, I heard about that. Yeah, I heard about that today. That's a pretty big win, thankfully. I'm glad that, like, they weren't successful in shutting that shit down. I was real fucking mad. The blood flowed out. Reddish-black maggots spilled out. I forced myself to open my blood vessels with my thumbs. The maggots spilled out. Squirm, 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 squirm. So many maggots spilled out from my left thigh. My right thigh must have the same amount of maggots in its blood vessels. My calves, too. My arms, abdomen, chest. No. How many maggots are there in the blood vessels in my neck? Strangely, although I've become rather insane, there's still a part of me that is calm. If I keep ripping myself apart like this, I'll end up dead. But everything is my fault, and I'm the one to be blamed. Even if I blame my mother, the only way that I can disgrace her is with my own body. Oh, I get it now. That's the best means for quelling my anger. I feel like I'm thinking incredibly rationally now. In order to forgive myself, I need someone else to blame. It has to be someone else's fault, but no such person exists. No matter how much I think about it or how I twist the logic, my own body is my only outlet to vent this anger. So long as there's no one else to blame, I'll be forced to rip open every blood vessel in my body. Just like no matter how much I scratch it, it still itches. No matter how much I rip apart my own body, it's not enough. The blood is all over the bathroom, and I'm sure it makes for quite the gruesome scene. Although I'm trying to stay calm, I can't ignore the sharp pain that runs through my body. Maybe I've lost so much blood, or maybe because I'm naked in the bathroom, I feel freezing cold. My whole body is throbbing, and my heart is beating so fast. I'm cold and hot at the same time, and I'm also sad, angry, and in pain. I want to find something that lets me forgive myself. Then it came. It came in a heavenly light. It was mysterious and unreal, like something out of this world. It apologized. It kept apologizing. Why is it apologizing? You apologize when you're at fault. So this thing I just met for the first time was admitting to wronging me. That means I'm not at fault. It's at fault, not me. I dropped the razor blade. I fell into the puddle of blood. The pain is taking over my body. The pain of ripping apart my own body is taking over me. I've been telling myself this pain is the punishment for what I've done. But I'm not at fault. It is. So I don't need to accept this pain as punishment. Alright, am I sure that... Yeah, it kind of has that sound, doesn't it? So I don't need to defile my body anymore. She continued apologizing to me over and over as I stood there covered in fresh blood. She apologized every time I wanted to blame myself, constantly whispering that it wasn't my fault. Oyashiro-sama exists. She is always following me. Pit-pat, pit-pat. And everything I think I can't endure the guilt, she apologizes and tells me I'm not at fault. Everything is caused by the curse of Oyashiro-sama. Things started to go wrong when I broke the rule that I wasn't supposed to leave Hinamizawa. I finally remember when I moved from Hinamizawa, one of my neighbors gave me a charm. She said that if I left Hinamizawa, I'd be cursed, so I had to take the charm. That's right, she gave me a charm. It had some complicated writing on it, but I haven't seen it since I moved here. I may have lost it. There's nothing I can do about that. If Hinamizawa residents leave Hinamizawa, they'll be cursed. My mother and I, and Uncle Akihito too, may have gone insane because of the curse of Oyashiro-sama. Nobody was at fault from the beginning because everything is caused by the curse of Oyashiro-sama. Nobody is at fault. Nobody. Nobody. I am finally able to forgive everything. The anger that I couldn't get rid of even after I destroyed everything, including my body and soul, is finally gone. Father, now I know. The curse of Oyashiro-sama is what caused my mother to leave and for you to be so sad. You remember Oyashiro-sama, don't you? The guardian deity of Hinamizawa? That's right. People of Hinamizawa aren't supposed to go to the outside world. That's why Mother went insane. It's all because of the curse of Oyashiro-sama. If we had stayed in Hinamizawa, we would have been happy. Oyashiro-sama came to me and told me that. Come to think of it, Oyashiro-sama has been trying to tell me that for a long time. After Mother left, I didn't know why she left, or how to express my anger. Oyashiro-sama has kept following me ever since, to let me know that. She followed me everywhere, the sound of her footsteps echoing behind me, but I pretended I didn't notice her. I was so stupid. I didn't hear her voice until I slashed my body all over. If only I had listened to Oyashiro-sama's voice. I bet she started warning me once Uncle Akihito came into my life. If the whole family had gone back to Hinamizawa, my mother wouldn't have had an affair. We would have been happy there. I bet Oyashiro-sama has been trying to tell me that. That's right. She must have been trying to warn me ever since we left Hinamizawa. She's always with me. She followed me everywhere. I was stupid, trying to pretend I didn't notice. Everything was because of that stupidity. If I had noticed Oyashiro-sama's voice, my family wouldn't have suffered from the same curse. It's all my fault. Oh, Oyashiro-sama is apologizing. She keeps apologizing, which means this is all her fault. So this isn't my fault, is it? Because this is the curse of Oyashiro-sama, right? She's apologizing, saying, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. Oyashiro-sama is apologizing repeatedly. So I'm sorry too. I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. I'm sorry I didn't hear your voice. I'm sorry. We are from Hinamizawa, so we have to keep hearing your voice. Oyashiro-sama definitely exists. Can't you hear, Father? Don't you see? Oyashiro-sama is right there apologizing, saying, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. I'm sorry too. Come on, Father, let's apologize too. Mother, you don't have to apologize. You should die because of the curse. I hate you, Mother. I hate you, I hate you, I hate you. I hate myself for being your daughter. These maggots are your fault. They make me itch everywhere. I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. No, I don't want that medicine. My mother got it to kill me, so I don't want it. I won't take it. I told you I won't take it. This is a curse, so you can't fix it with medicine. It won't get rid of the maggots because this is a curse. No, I don't want the shot either. Stop it. It hurts. It hurts. Everything is falling into a gray world. The voices of my father and the doctor sound so far away. Even what just happened seems like it happened a long time ago. Again, I'm given the capsule, and even my memory from a minute ago is gone. I'm back in my bed, staring at the ceiling. And what I can see, the only thing that interests me is the hands on the clock. Tick-tock, tick-tock. I follow the minute hand as it goes around quickly, and the hour hand as it goes around slowly. I see other things, too, but they keep going through the same motions, just like the hands on the clock. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's my fault. I'm sorry. Oyashiro-sama keeps apologizing. Tick-tock, tick-tock. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Tick-tock, tick-tock. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Repeating over and over, constantly, and nothing else. The chorus of the Higurashi coming through the window during the night seems louder than usual. Woof! I think Rena has a very high affiliation, sort of like affinity with Hanyu, I think is the thing. And I think that because Rena is so fucked up by this, I think Hanyu is paying extra special attention, trying to help, but is too stupid to realize that she's not really helping at all. This whole following someone around and apologizing to them, I don't think it's doing much good. Hanyu, please, my dear. I'll be back in like 2 minutes, and then we'll get back to more fragments. Alright, we got a streamer juice refill. We are settled in. Got a nice sweater on because it started getting cold. And we are ready to begin anew. Are we ready? Are we revitalized? Are we all good? Alright, let's see. No, that's the OBS window, not the game window. There we go. Okay. Ooh. Okay. So, I think we need to roll one. Notice leave of absence. Rena Ryugu. A red capsule is required. We can start diving into Rena. I want to check out this back here, though. I want to check something. Hold on. Just a moment. Okay. Yeah, I want to check out... I think we can do this one now. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4. Takano-san always comes along with me whenever I go take pictures on a stroll. She might have discovered the joy of cameras, and I'm happy to gain a friend who shares in the same hobby. However, there's actually something else that she's much more interested in. That would be the history of Hina Mizawa. She frequently visits libraries and local archives to read through various documents and books, and when it comes to Hina Mizawa, she's gained quite an extensive knowledge of the local history. When she's in a good mood, she tells me about things about how Hina Mizawa used to be called Onigafuchi Village, and how the villagers were used to perform various cruel ceremonies based around the worship of Oyashiro-sama. It seems that she loves tales of violence that actually gave her a mysterious charm. On the other hand, I don't do well with grotesque things, so I can hardly say anything in response. The stories of cruel ceremonies that she gets excited about, I don't really get them all that well. However, with the way her eyes light up when she talks, I don't mind spending time with her even if I have to hear about cruel things.
そういうのを調べるのが好きだね。
あら、だって楽しいわよ。封印された過去の暗黒史を紐解くなんてとてもワクワクすることだとは思わない？
Takano-san smiled in a way that almost made it sound like a dark past was something fun. Yeah, exactly. Like it's just like it's a pastime to some people. That's fine. But of course, it isn't. The dark history of Hina Mizawa that she loves is something cruel and atrocious, like the witch hunts in the Middle Ages.
それに、ひなみざわ症候群を調べる上でもとても役立つことなのよ。何も顕微鏡を除くことだけが調べることになるとは限らない。この寄生虫と長い時間を過ごしてきたこの村の伝承の方がよっぽど重要な何かを教えてくれることもあるんだから。
それもそうだね。うん。高野さんは本当に研究熱心だよな。
だって研究こそ私のライフワークだもの。未知の神秘に踏み込み、誰も知らなかった秘密を暴くことってとっても楽しいことだとは思わない？それは多分考えることに悦を感じることができる人間だけに許された最高の娯楽だと思うの。この研究の第一人者だった高野先生もひなみざわ症候群の研究に生涯を捧げるだけの何かを見出し、その魅力に取りつかれていたに違いないでしょうね。多分私だけがそんな高野先生の気持ちを理解していると思うの。 研究者でない二郎さんには難しいかしら。
She always seems so enthusiastic every time she talks about the late Dr. Takano, an independent researcher who was the first person to discover the existence of the syndrome. There has to be something more than just her admiration as a researcher. Come to think of it, Dr. Takano's full name was Hifumi Takano. Takano-san's full name is Mio Takano. Not only are their last names pronounced the same, their first names follow a similar pattern. They must be connected somehow. I don't know anything about Takano-san's personal history, but there's a good chance that her name is an alias, so it's very possible she chose a name to reflect the researcher she admires.
ひょっとして高野さんはだからミオという名前なのかね。いや、高野さんが尊敬しているその先生の名前が確か高野ひふみ。そして高野さんの名前がミオ。123の後を引き継いで34。彼が成し遂げられなかった研究を引き継いだからそういう名前なのかなって思ってね。
それを誰かに聞いた
の？いや今僕が適当に考えただけなんだよ。別に誰かが言ってたわけじゃ。
正解よ。鈍い二郎さんにしてはよくわかったわね。
Aw, I'm surprised you figured out the cute little trick that I did with my name, you gigantic dummy simp.
いや、高野さんがその高野先生をとても尊敬しているのは知ってたし、まるで自分が実の娘か孫で研究の正当な後継者だというような感じで言っていることがあったからね。なんとなくそんな気がしただけなんだよ。作家のペンネームだってほら、尊敬する作家のオマージュで名前を付けることもあるし。なら高野美代って名前もペンネームみたいなものなのかなって思って。
Palikishi 07 Uchikoshi. There you go. That's my pen name.
そんなことはないわよ。高野美代は本名よ。もっとも高野の高は鳥の高じゃなくて高い低いの高が正しいけれど。
え？じゃあ高野先生とは本当は同じ名字なのかね？それはますますびっくりだね。しかも美代が本名とは。高野ひふみの研究を高野美代が。
What a fateful coincidence! Wowie
運命的偶然を感
zowie!
じるね。
二郎さんたら運命的だなんて大げさな。別に運命でも何でもないのよ。
This is news to me. I heard Takano-san discovered documents about the Hina Mizawa syndrome left by Dr. Takano after his death and decided to continue his research. I've never heard of them being related before.
祖父の研究を引き継ぐために予算をというと、まるで身内びいきのために予算を引っ張ろうとしているように見えて、印象が良くないというふうに助言をしてくれる人がいたので、高の一文字を変えたからなの。だから人前で高野先生が私の祖父だと話したのは、小泉のおじいちゃんを除いたら二郎さんを含めて他にいるかどうかという話よ。
そうだったのかい。なるほどね。君がひなみ沢症候群の研究に入江所長も驚くほどの情熱を見せる理由がちょっとだけ分かったよ。
I understand very clearly now. She really did inherit the work of her grandfather. Her grandfather was unable to complete.
医学的見地からだけでなく、古文書などの文献からもひなみ沢症候群。
He's probably got a couple more years. He'll probably be good for another couple years.
ひなみ沢症候群と何百年にもわたって共にあった村の文献を調べることは、何百倍もの倍率を持つ顕微鏡を除くより価値があり得るというのは、祖父が私に教えてくれたことなの。
なるほどね。だとしたら自分の完成できなかった研究をこれだけ立派に引き継いでくれたおじいさんはきっと喜んでいるだろうね。こんなに熱心な孫に引き継げてとても嬉しいはずさ。
だといいわね。
I said something Takano-san would normally tease me about, but she didn't. She nodded and smiled. There's no mistake. She is indeed the granddaughter of Dr. Takano.
祖父がひふみで123、私はミオで34。私は祖父を継ぎ、ようやく3を共に数えたに過ぎない。そして祖父の次の4を数え、私も祖父もまだ見ぬ5へ至らなければならない。それが私の使命であり、生まれてきた理由でもある。
Sarah over here falling behind on Twitch. Can't believe you're falling behind. Wow, what a loser. You're so bad at Twitch, Sarah. Jesus Christ.
それでミオという名前なんだね。素敵な名前だと思うよ。
ありがとう。私が孫だという話は内緒にしてほしいの。クライアントの人たちにも言っていないから。耳に入って痛くもない腹を探られたくないので。
I used a line from your Super Mario stream as the Soxcast cold opening this past episode, though.
うん、分かったよ。これは僕と高野さんの秘密ということで。
Although it's only a small secret, it feels good to think that I'm the only one who knows about
私
it.
はようやく3を数えただけ。まだ4にすら至っていない。研究の道のりは。
Yeah, I don't know why. Like, it was just like, hey, wait a minute. There was this line he said that just cracked me up. So I just when I was doing the editing last night, I popped it in
症候群の秘密を暴く。
to the archived file. I was like, I'll throw that in there. It's funny. Pops in before the theme.
僕もそれを応援するよ。もともとそれが僕の役割だしね。
もうそういう余計なことを言わなければ十分かっこいいのに。一言応援するって言ってくれればいいのよ。
するよ。君を応援する。
二度言い直してもダメね。一回で言えなくちゃかっこよくはならないわね。
We laughed cheerfully together, and after we finished laughing, she became serious again and spoke as if to drive the point home.
だから二郎さん、くれぐれも私が孫だって言わないようにね。
言わないよ。約束する。
孫だからいけないということはないけれど、クライアントがそれを知って不快に思ったら予算を切られるようなことがあるかもしれない。
そんなことはないと思うよ。第一、僕は喋らないしね。
絶対よ。本当に絶対よ。私はこの研究のために命をもらったの。祖父の研究を完成させることだけが私の使命。踏みにじられた研究が世界を驚かす偉大なものであったことを証明し、土の下で朽ちる祖父をたたえさせ、神に昇華させること。それだけが私の生きる理由であり目的なの。もしそれを邪魔するような不用意な言葉をあなたがうっかり漏らして研究に支障が出たなら。
Yeah, so funny story about that. She had a really big monologue at the end of the last game. It was literally 24 minutes of her going in circles saying the same thing over and over. It was kind of ridiculous.
大丈夫だよ。ここで聞いた話は忘れるよ。本当さ。いや、絶対に口外しない。僕は約束は守るよ。絶対に言わない。
Alright, there's Tomitake's promise. Okay. I thought that wasn't something we'd had yet.
次郎さん。
I sensed something frightening within her for a moment. Afraid that she would end up possessed by it, I swore to keep the promise. Her intellectual curiosity as a researcher and her conviction to complete her grandfather's work are what stirs her passion for researching Hina Mizawa syndrome. I think there's one more reason, but it's far too deep, and it's within a wound in her heart that someone like me should never touch. But earlier, she said, if you create problems for my research, I wonder what she wanted to say after that. I can't help but thinking she wanted to say something terrifyingly merciless. I kept my promise with her, and we never talked about the issue again after that. She has 80 spirit locks on. Yeah, they just like... It's like the system is just slowing down trying to draw all of the psyche locks. It's ridiculous. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Completion of medicine. Disappointment. I think we're moving into the Rena stuff now. So I think we can just, let's see. A bottle of wine, Jiro Tomatake's promise, the draft of an emergency manual. I think we've done all that, but I'm going to save first, just to be sure. You've created new art again. What are you doing? It's like you're an artist or something. What the fuck? A roll of 1? Do we have that one? Okay, we do. We have a roll of 1. It happened so suddenly. Oh, I bet Koizumi died. Uncle Koizumi passed away. I never heard he was ill or wasn't feeling well. His chest started to hurt suddenly and he couldn't sleep. He called an ambulance for the first time in his life because he didn't think he could endure the pain. He was taken into emergency care, but he didn't live to see the morning. It was an acute myocardial infraction. Maybe it was the best possible way to go. Instead of being in bed for many years, slowly dilapidating and withering away, he was healthy until his death, so I think he must have lived a wonderful life. But still, it was too sudden. No, I'm doing it on purpose, because I don't like the shit that Twitch is doing with ads. If you're Twitch Turbo or you are subscribed to my channel here, you don't see it, but Twitch is now forcing mid-roll ads on affiliates and partners. Like, they just run them whenever the fuck they want. And I'm the kind of person where when I make when I stream games like this, it's kind of important to, you know, get the story in a narrative-focused game. And if you've got fucking ads popping up, and I've heard that people get like 6 ads in a row every like 20 to 30 minutes, it's ridiculous. Because they've taken measures to block a lot of ad blockers, really, like, aggressively, especially over the past week. Like, from what I understand, like, if they detect you're using an ad blocker now, they're actually trying to shove more ads onto you, but it's also affecting people with subs and shit. So, like, it's just a system that's not working. So, I've started streaming to both. But I only watch the Twitch chat, so if you go, so since YouTube doesn't really seem to be doing much about ad blockers, nor have they in the past like 10 years, you can go to my YouTube channel and watch it there, probably ad-free if you've got your ad block stuff all up to date, and then just watch the Twitch chat room, you know, just pop that out, and then... Yeah, so that's kind of like the only solution I have for it, is to just stream on both services, and if they ban me for it, they ban me for it. I don't really care. So it's a big whatever. I wish I had called him Uncle more. It's too late, though. Uncle Koizumi would never smile at me again with his wrinkly old face, no matter how many times I called him. He was my guardian until now. He always looked after me, making sure my efforts received proper recognition. Maybe he only did that because he couldn't help my grandfather when he was alive, but still, he was an important person to me. He wasn't just my political backing, but I didn't realize that when he was alive. I only thought of using his power for my own agenda, but after he died, I realized Uncle Koizumi was my grandpa too. He provided the warmth and protection that I longed for from my own grandfather. At his funeral, I shed tears that I thought I forgot how to.
今までありがとう。もっとおじいちゃんって
呼んであげればよかったね。
No matter how many times I called to him, he would never reply. What I can do for him at this point is complete my research. I must accomplish my goal for his sake. When my grandfather's research is finally acknowledged, Uncle Koizumi's name will be known once again for being the sole supporter of his endeavor. I believe that's the best way to repay him for everything he's done. I vow to devote myself to work even more from this day on. But unfortunately, hardships and sadness tend to come together. It was like the tailwind that blew steadily until the day suddenly became a headwind. The winds shifted too suddenly. So strong, so cold, so sad.
どういうことなの、ジローさん。
小泉先生が入江機関設立の立役者だったのは高野さんも知ってるよね。関係機関でなかなか承認の取れなかったのを小泉先生が強力に抑え込んで無理やり通させたって話なんだよ。何しろ医薬品業界で絶大な功績を挙げられた戦後日本復興の重鎮だからね。政財界に絶大な影響力を持たれていたし。
その小泉先生が亡くなって小泉先生が通した無理やりが通らなくなったということ。
Yeah, it's like it's either all of their funding is going to be gone or it's going to be a big fucking problem trying to get them to commit anything more to this beyond maybe like another year or two or something like that.
一部の予算配当やプロジェクトの見直しが行われるらしいというのを聞い
Yeah,
たんだ
they're
よ。
going to start reconsidering the budget.
入江機関が廃止されるということ。
いや、入江機関を見直すというのは聞いたことないけど、ただ小泉先生の死後、長老たちの派閥や勢力、後継者争いがややこしくなっているってもっぱらの噂なんだ。すでにクライアントの人事にかなりの影響を与え始めてるらしいんだ。それで小泉派が主導していたプロジェクトや聖域予算に対し締め付けが行われるんじゃないかって憶測が飛び交ってるらしいんだよ。もちろんそれらは全て僕にとって雲の上の話だからね。伝え聞いた噂話でしかないんだけれど。
Jiro-san kept saying there were rumors, but he told me that the wind's direction has changed. Or maybe Jiro-san already knows everything and is simply trying to warn me about it. And then, at our next routine audit, Jiro-san made it clear with his own mouth. High-ranking government officials, who had never came here before, attended the routine audit along with Jiro-san. Just by seeing their faces, I can tell the turning point is approaching.
ご存知の通り、アルファベットプロジェクトは戦後日本の国際的な地位向上を目的としたものです。ですが、すでに昭和も50年代に至り、西暦は21世紀を間近にしております。
In this day and age, we must put the past behind us and start looking forwards to a new world. He meant exactly what he said. Japan has already put the past behind, and it's cutting off its ties to the ghosts that wished to resurrect the militaristic might of the pre-war
戦後
era.
40年間、我が国は世界への平和的貢献を模索し、国際的地位を確立するに至りました。日本は国際社会において重要なポジションを担う国家として成熟し、
They have a cure, but they don't have a way to distribute it. They don't have a way to distribute it, and it's still like think of Satoko as kind of like the testing phase of where she's literally having to take 2 shots a day. Yeah, and this is after the third curse, so this is after Rika's mom and dad were just demoned away and killed. The Alphabet Project, the main sponsor of the EDA Institute, are a group of people who want to develop a weapon that would act as a deterrent to the nuclear weapons which Japan is forbidden to own. So they've come to the EDA Institute, one of its branch organizations, to tell us Japan has now renounced nuclear arms. So the EDA Institute will be facing a strong cold headwind from now on. The roll of the die came up 1 on this stormy day has appeared. I won't let the result of the die affect me. The power of my will won't be beaten by some god's roll of the
よ
dice.
って現在時代に即した形になるようアルファベットプロジェクトの見直しを進めています。 新生アルファベットプロジェクトは国際交流と経済発展の二軸からなる平和外交の見地から日本の地位向上を模索していくことになるでしょう。
All the people who held tremendous influence in politics and the economy of Japan were born before the war, so naturally they want to regain the glory of pre-war Japan. The very idea that we can win next time if we research the new bomb that defeated us is itself a specter of the war. No, everyone already realized that. It was just that no one could speak out against the grandstanding elders they owed their gratitude towards. Soon the old will wither away and the new generation will take control. Uncle Koizumi was, in a way, the last remaining pillar of that generation. His death is a chance for a new generation to step in. The things they couldn't argue openly are now being discussed. They've pointed that out from the beginning, that the Alphabet Project was created for the personal satisfaction of a small group of people, and it sucked money out of the treasury. And so, the new generation of politicians has taken over from the old.
よってアルファベットに関わるすべてのプロジェクトで
The Alphabet Soup Project, exactly. That's much more. That is much more wholesome than the big old group of nationalists that were previously the Alphabet Project.
これはもちろん入江機関も例外ではありません。どうかご了解をいただけますようよろしくお願いいたします。
That could work too.
わかりました。私たちもスポンサーあっての研究です。どうかよろしくお願いいたします。
Hina responded appropriately, but he's obviously bewildered. The best equipment and staff are being provided to the Hina Institute. In other words, our research requires a huge amount of money. For those with no interest in Mizawa syndrome, they probably won't be able to understand why that much money is being put into the research of disgusting parasites. If they're simply going to revise our budget, that would be fine. We were receiving more than enough money. That would naturally be adjusted. It hurts, but we can endure. That's what I thought. But if just enduring it was enough, it wouldn't be a 1 on the die. So, even in that sense, this is definitely a roll of a die coming up as 1.
でありまして、この4月に新体制の理事会が発足し、全プロジェクトに対する新方針が示されました。これにつきましては、お配りします資料をご覧ください。
His papers were then passed around. He started to go over the details, but I read through quickly so I could learn about their stupid decisions
入江機
first.
関はこれまで先進的な研究において数々の目覚ましい成果を上げられ、未知であったひなみざわ症候群の全貌解明、そして理事会でもこの成果は大変に高く評価しています。これもすべて入江所長以下入江機関全職員のたゆみない努力によるものと思っております。
いえ、恐縮です。
Even while he received their congratulations, a tense atmosphere surrounded me and Irie. It's customary to start a conversation in the opposite way you're planning to take it before delving into your main point to convey. If the main issue is something good, then start with something bad, or vice
入江
versa.
機関の研究目的は2つありました。ひなみざわ症候群の研究と治療法の確立、そして多面運用の模索です。新生理事会はこの後者の多面運用の模索については即時の中止を決定しました。これらの研究開発が国内で行われていた事実と痕跡は今後はむしろアキレス腱になりかねません。入江機関は直ちにこれに関わるすべての研究を中止し一切を破棄してください。
わかりました。ご指示に従います。
Irie replied with that immediately. Irie was assertive about finding a cure, but was never even remotely interested in researching the disease's use for military purposes, so I'm sure he has no qualm about concurring with such demands. But I don't agree, because our research will be more limited if we're just trying to find a cure. To me, finding that cure is simply a byproduct of my larger goal of discovering everything about the syndrome.
また、入江機関につきましては、最長3年以内をめどに研究の収束を図ってまいります。予算もそれに合わせ段階的に
3 years and a declining budget. That's gonna set everything else into motion, I imagine.
ちょっと待ってください。近年ようやくひなみ沢症候群の全貌が分かり、今まさに治療法の研究を進めているところです。確かに研究は日々進んでおりますが、3年という短い期間で確実に完成させられることをお約束はできません。
理事会では入江機関はすでに治療薬について十分な研究を完成させているという認識です。すでに入江機関は治
There you
療
go,
薬
the C117
C117 を完成さ
vaccine.
せ、その臨床データを多数。
いえ、完成なんてとんでもない。まだまだ試薬の域を出ず、村人全員を治療できる目処は全く立っていません。このような段階で研究終了ありきでの議論は全くもって無謀としか言いようがありません。
I'm surprised that Irie objected. Thanks to him, I didn't have to say anything. But if Irie had an objective, I'm sure I would have shrieked in
それで
protest.
は入江機関には現時点では感染者全員を治療し、ひなみ沢症候群を撲滅することは不可能だということです。
Yeah, a cure and a vaccine are two different things.
そうです。もちろん村人全員の治療とひなみ沢症候群の撲滅は将来的には不可能なことではありませんし、私もそれを最大の目標にしています。ただそれには十分な時間が必要で、そのためには無論予算も必要です。私たちは調べ、実践し、確立する仕事をしています。設計図に従ってものを作り、期間があれば必ず決まった成果が出せる仕事とは事情が違います。どうかそこを誤解なさらないようにしていただきたいです。
I guess EDA speaks out when he needs to, and what he's saying is absolutely right. Research isn't something guaranteed to produce results with money and time. But I disagree with some of the things he said. He's objecting about the time and money, but he's basically agreeing to limit our research only towards finding a cure for Hina-Mizawa syndrome. That won't do. We won't unravel any mysteries that way. At that rate, the discovery of the Hina-Mizawa syndrome won't be recognized as my grandfather's great achievement.
入江所長のおっしゃることもごもっともと思います。私どもにとっての最大の目的は軍事目的の研究が行われていたことの完全な破棄です。よってひなみ沢症候群という特殊現象が研究されていた痕跡とそもそも存在していた事実についても隠蔽すべきであると考えます。最終的にひなみ沢症候群が世間に知られることなく撲滅されるならば、そのための期間と予算は必要不可欠なものでしょう。それについては、
はい、依存はありません。
では入江機関はできるだけ早急にひなみ沢症候群撲滅を秘密裏に行えるプランと予算案を作成提出してください。
わかりました。早急に提出いたします。
誤解ないようにしていただきたいのは、私どもはあくまでも研究を直ちに中断させようというのではなく、円満な形で研究を終了させようということです。この違いをご理解ください。
Dude, my streamer juice is literally just water. You're not gonna get drunk on water, my dude.
もちろん理解しております。
While I was listening to their conversation, I was struck dumbfounded with something they said. Eradicating the syndrome in secrecy. In other words, it would be as though Hina-Mizawa syndrome never existed. So my grandfather's name will never be revered by anyone. The sound of rustling papers and hushed proceedings filled the meeting room, but I only heard the ticking clock as I clutched my sweating palms. Oh, boy! Oh, boy, that one's rough. I am known to do a shot or two before a stream. Helps you loosen up a bit. I did not, however, do one today. Sweaty palms. Okay, so we're gonna do one more, I think, and then we're gonna call it an evening. Okay, the death of Koizumi Sensei. Okay, let's see. completion. I don't know that that's completion. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. I'm grabbing art. Hold on. Grabbing art. I'm grabbing the art and I'm going to put it on the screen. Another one. Another one. There you go. That's 2 arts in one stream by Sayara. Yeah, this one's a little subdued. Guys, I wonder if we can tell that this is fan art, guys. Wonder if this one's a little more distinguishable. Very easy to tell what this one might be about. Clearly that's it. Okay. We will do. You know what we did unlock? Let's end on a good one. We got Rena here. We got Rhea. She's probably happy. Look at this. When I mouse over it, it's happy. This is probably a happy fragment. Let's end today on a good note. What do you say? A happy Rena note. Look at this.
ごめんください。はいはいはい。あらら、こんにちは。あれ、どちら様？あ、どうも。私、お隣に引っ越してきました。リュウグウと申します。引っ越しのご挨拶にお伺いしました。どうかよろしくお願いします。あららら。こんな田舎の村にこんな若い子が引っ越してきちゃったのかい。そうかいそうかい、よく来たね。お母ちゃん、お隣さん、引っ越しのご挨拶来られたわよ。
Yep, that was a housewife copter. Think we have to roll it. We have to roll it.
あららら、あららら、あららら、あららら、あららら、あららら、あららら、あららら、あららら、こんな田舎の村にこん
でっけえ声出さんでも聞こえてんな。つったらわざわざ丁寧に挨拶すまなっしゃろな。
リュウグウさんだって。
She's old, so the engine stalls out a bit. I think that's probably all it is.
お隣の空き家に引っ越されてきたって。
ああ、あんたレナちゃんかいな。大きゅなって。
はい、レイナです。覚えててくれてたんですか？はなんね、お母ちゃん知ってんのかい？
知ってるもなんと。ああ、お前沖宮に住んどったから知らんか。ずいぶん前に住んでたお隣さんね。そうかいそうかい、戻ってきたんかい。
Typically to her friends she's Rena, but her real name is Reina. She took the I out of her name because it represents the quote-unquote icky things in her life, which is why she doesn't like she doesn't refer to herself as Reina most of the time when she's among people who know her.
やっぱり都会よか、村の方が落ち着くねえな。
住んでたのは小さい頃なんであまりよくは覚えていないんですけど、でもここが私の帰ってくるところだったんだなってとても懐かしくなります。なら馴染むのは早いね。なんかお手伝いできることがあったらいつでも言ってね。遠慮はしないのがここのルールだから。
I for Icky! Yo, can we get some eyes in chat for Icky? Ha! Ha! I fooled you! I typed the lowercase L, you dumb bitches. Ha! I win! I win!
はい。ありがとうございます。
I thought I'd remember things if I walked around the village, but I still didn't remember much. I do recall, however, the vivid breeze as well as the brilliant greenery. I don't remember the village, but I remember that this is my hometown. Red scars still remain on my body. They're hardly visible, and I can't even feel them. I'm sure they'll disappear soon. Now that I'm back in Mizawa, sometimes I wonder who I was back in Ibaraki. In fact, I think I wasn't myself from the moment I left, and now, by coming back here, I've finally regained my true self. I can hardly remember what it was like back in Ibaraki. Well, that's probably because of the red medicine. The medicine erased all of my painful memories. Maybe that was for the best. I just wanted to be forgiven back then. I couldn't forgive my mother. I couldn't forgive Uncle Akihito, and more than anybody, I couldn't forgive myself. I wanted someone to acknowledge that I wasn't at fault. I wanted to be forgiven, so Oyashiro-sama apologized. She told me I wasn't at fault because it was the curse of Oyashiro-sama. That's how I was able to forgive myself. I didn't have to die by tearing my blood vessels out of my body. I think people have to die because they become corrupted. That's why people try their hardest not to dirty themselves all their lives. But I'm still living, despite how dirty I am. I've been allowed to live. Is there still some filth left in me? Or am I all clean? I don't know. The only thing I know is that the me who lived in Ibaraki and the me who's here right now are two different people. I no longer feel the need to take responsibility by ripping myself apart because of the filth. After arranging some furniture and unpacking some boxes, we finally had dinner. Although I hardly remember Hina Mizawa, my father remembers things very
お父さんたち
clearly.
がひなみざわに住んでた頃にもあったんだけど、今は綿流しという行事がとても大きなお祭りになってるらしい。
Yeah, I've known somebody named Rayna, R-A-Y-N-A.
6月の終わり頃にあるらしいね。
綿流し？
お父さんも見たことないんでわからないんだけど、体についた汚れを綿に吸い取らせて沢に流す行事らしい。
Absorb the filth.
汚れって流してしまえるものなんだね。
そりゃそうだ。人間は罪深い生き物だからね。生きてるだけで日々汚れが我が身に降り積もっていくものなんだそうだ。それを年に1回体をお掃除するように綿に吸い取ってもらって捨ててしまおうということらしいよ。
People become burdened with filth and sin by doing something bad. Court sentences can settle your crimes legally, but that doesn't mean the burden of sin, of the filth, will just go away. In other words, human hands can't erase human filth in this human world. The filth is something humans can't get rid of, and that's why they need a god from a different world to do that. That's what I thought. But I'm surprised to learn about Watanagashi. Human hands erasing human filth from the human world, letting the cotton absorb the filth and drifting it down the stream. That means it's okay to live in this world. I tried to commit suicide because I couldn't forgive myself. Oyashiro-sama apologized to me and told me to come back to Hina Mizawa. And now, here at Hina Mizawa, there's this Watanagashi, a ceremony to get rid of the filth. This wasn't just coincidence. Hina Mizawa is a place to wash away your filth. It forgives sins. It is a place of
そういう
forgiveness.
のをな、みそぎって言うんだ。
あ、言葉だけは聞いたことあるかな。
日本文化というものは、汚れというものにものすごく厳格だろ。
I'm pretty fucking strict about filth myself.
汚れを残したまま表舞台にとどまることを許さない。ほら、政治家や社長で汚職があるとすぐに辞職するのもそういうことだ。汚れた人は表舞台を去らなければならない。悪く言うと、汚れを誰か一人に押し付けて隕石させるわけだな。
That's what everybody else does. Just get your filthy Twitter account. Except Rhett. Not Rhett. Not Rhett. That boy doesn't need an alternate account. He's just, yo, here's titties on your timeline from me. This is both my horny and main account. Boy is living his best life. Rena has by far the grossest alt account. Sense and filth must be removed. That's why people push them onto someone else and try to get rid of the filth by sacrificing that person. But if that's the case, every time the filth is created, people will try to pass around responsibility for it. That's awfully hideous. It's almost like seeing demons in the human world. That's why they came up with the idea of letting the cotton absorb all the filth. By doing so, people could live without making someone else take on all the responsibility, sins, and filth. That's a pretty good assessment of the Higurashi gang's Twitter activities, I would say. Putting everyone's sins into someone and then killing that person makes that person a sacrifice. Who wants to be a sacrifice? That's why they desperately push their sins around. A purification ceremony is about replacing the human sacrifice with a non-human one. Holy shit. There's allergies. Holy shit, that came out of nowhere. The purification ceremony dramatically changed Japanese culture. Before then, people always believed someone had to become a sacrifice. In other words, even with filth, everyone can live without blaming someone else. Filth can be forgiven by a method other than death. Only an existence higher than humans can forgive them. I was forgiven by Oyashiro-sama and came back to this place, to Watanagashi, the purification ceremony that exists here, letting cotton absorb the filth and drifting it away. There's no need for a sacrifice. That's why I've been allowed to live. The filthy me has drifted away, so that the me that remains is no longer Reina Ryugu. If I'm not Reina, then who am I? If I'm without filth, without all the icky things, who am I? Boy, this game just kind of is brilliant at explaining things when somebody asks the question. A name vaguely appeared in my head. My new name, the one removes the letters from Reina, but I think it's a cute name. The icky things are erased and forgiven with the removal of that one letter, so my name is no longer Reina. My name is Rena. And that's gonna do it for us tonight, and not a moment too soon because my allergies decided to go completely fucking L5. It's great. Alright, so let's see where we stand fragment-wise. How many we got now? We got 7, 14, 26, 30. We got 30. We got 30 out of 50 fragments. So, we're getting there. We're getting there. We'll probably be able to knock the rest out. Do like 10 tomorrow and 10 Wednesday. So we can probably knock those out over the next couple of nights. We'll do 10 tomorrow and 10 the next night. So that'll be on the agenda. So we'll catch you there on that. I'll do all that next time.